Hi, this is yours truly, DJ Roy, from Irie Jam Radio with another edition of Just In Case You Never Know. And today we're talking about personal injury. And I've got the expert in the building. I've got the attorney from the law offices of Gregory, Spektor and Associates. And when it comes to injuries on a construction site, those are serious. Those are when people lose limbs, lose eyesight, life-changing injuries. And you want attorneys that are going to fight for your rights so you can be compensated for your injuries. And who better than the law offices of Gregory, Spektor and Associates. And live here today, I've got Matthew. How's it going, Matthew?
DJ Roy, it's going great. Thank you so much. You know, construction site accidents often lead to very serious injuries. And when that happens, you need to call your serious injury attorneys at Gregory, Spektor and Associates. Because the truth is, DJ Roy, we handle so many construction site accidents. And in the state of New York, because construction sites are so dangerous, the laws are specialized, the laws are specific, and so you need a law firm and you need lawyers who have handled accidents like that before.
All right, and of course, the law offices of Gregory, Spektor and Associates, 888-797-7735. So let's get down to the meat of it. I'm on a construction site. Boss says, go up on that scaffolding up there. Of course, I rush up. The scaffolding is not bolted or secured, and I get injured. Now, is it my fault for going up there knowing that it's not safe? Or do I have a case? I'm injured, I'm heading to the hospital, I'm bleeding, got bones sticking out. What do I do?
DJ Roy, we represent so many workers who were just doing what their foreman told them, who were just doing what their boss told them, and then they get hurt. In the state of New York, because construction sites are so dangerous and because construction work is so important, the laws are designed to protect the worker. So in your example, if you are an injured worker who is injured because a scaffold fell or it collapsed, and even though you may have known that it was unsteady and your boss sent you up there, not only would you have a case, but you would have a very strong case, because ultimately the responsibility to provide the worker a safe place to work, a safe scaffold, that responsibility ultimately rests with the owner or the general contractor or the construction manager of the construction site. So even if you may have thought it was unstable, you would still have a very strong case.
All right, and again, I can't give this number out enough. 888-797-7735. That is the direct number for the law offices of Gregory, Spektor and Associates. 888-797-7735. That's the number I want you to jot down. That's the number I need you to call. Now, what about faulty equipment? You know, I've got a faulty jackhammer that the off button is the on button, and it takes off my toe.
That sounds like a very faulty piece of equipment, DJ Roy. And the truth is, there are special protections, again, afforded to workers who have been given faulty equipment. Oftentimes, you show up to work and you just grab the first chainsaw, the first jackhammer, whatever it might be, from the shanty or from the shed. And if that happens, the truth is you probably don't know it was defective until it's too late. In those cases, it is so critical to get a law firm who has handled cases under those particular statutes, under those particular codes, because in order to prove that case, DJ Roy, it is very likely you will need a law firm that not only knows the law, but knows what experts to hire and will know how to prove your case if you've been injured like that.
888-797-7735, Gregory, Spektor and Associates. We're talking about construction accident. And in some cases, you have workers that are day workers. They're only on the site for a week, sometimes even only for a day. If they get injured, do they have a case?
Once you get onto the construction site, again, in the state of New York, assuming you're not trespassing, assuming you're not just visiting for the day, right, you're doing work. Once you get onto that site, the owner, the general contractor, the construction manager, they have obligations to make sure that they provide you with a safe place to work, a safe scaffold, safe equipment. The truth of the matter is, DJ Roy, and you know as well as I do, oftentimes these construction companies cut corners when they know the worker might be out of status, might not have all their paperwork in line. And we fight those cases so aggressively because we know that construction owners, general contractors, often will take advantage of that status and will often hope that those workers are not going to come forward. But at Gregory, Spektor and Associates, we take pride in representing those individuals who might otherwise be afraid to come forward because they have every right to recover for their personal injuries.
Mhm. You know, you mentioned afraid to come forward. There are times when you become real close with your coworkers, real close with the boss, real close with the foreman, and you don't want to, you know, ruffle any feathers. And they're even telling you that if you do, you might not have a job. How do you handle cases like that? And should that person stay in the shadows knowing that, okay, I've got a broken leg, but maybe in 12 weeks I can be back at work, I'll have a job?
Those are such common situations and very delicate relationships. The first thing that I think is so important for people to know is that in New York, you cannot sue your employer. That's barred by workers' compensation, which, by the way, those workers' compensation benefits, when you are injured on a construction site, they will kick in and they will make sure that you have enough money to pay for your medical treatment, your hospital bills, and what you'll need to recover. But getting to your point, oftentimes the injured worker's foreman, his friend, will come forward and say, we'll take care of you. Don't file a lawsuit. Well, the truth is, DJ Roy, if you're injured on a construction site, you were likely making a good salary to provide for your family, and you likely had a serious injury that's going to require a lifetime care of treatment. DJ Roy, that friendship runs out once the bills start coming in and the numbers really adding up. When we file a lawsuit, we don't sue your employer. We don't sue that foreman who you've had that relationship with. We go after the construction company, the general contractor, and the insurance company, ultimately, that was insuring the construction site, because those are the entities that have the most money, and those are the people who will ultimately be paying your settlement, your mediation, or your verdict.
Okay. Now, one thing for sure, insurance companies do not like to pay. And even when they know they're in the wrong, they're trying to pay as little as possible. How do you know what's the correct number to get for your clients?
What I like to remind everyone about is how insurance companies make money, right? They make money by charging the customer more money than they pay out. So you're absolutely correct. Insurance companies want to pay as little as possible. Each case is different. When we look at a construction site accident, we almost always deal with workers who are never going back to work. And so in order to fully compensate them, we take a global look at what were they earning? Were they in a union? What type of union benefits did they have that they will no longer have because they'll never be able to return to work? We factor all of those numbers into our settlement demands, what the verdict is that we're asking for from the jury, plus the neck, back, knee, or whatever other injuries a worker may have sustained when they've fallen from a scaffold, fallen from a ladder, or otherwise been injured because of defective equipment. What I can tell you, DJ Roy, is that by the time we get to that number, after having consulted with our experts, consulted with our economists, and done our research, we can confidently present that number to the jury, confidently present that number to our client, so that way everyone knows we've done our homework and are getting our clients maximum compensation.
888-797-7735, 888-797-7735. The law offices of Gregory, Spektor and Associates, 1 Cross Island Plaza. This has been another episode of Just in Case You Never Know. Well, now you know. If you're injured on a construction site, what to do and where to call. Gregory, Spektor and Associates, 888-797-7735. Matthew, thanks for coming.
DJ Roy, thanks so much.
All right. Now you know, just in case you never knew.